What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Execute Under Pressure Live. We in here, right? So, if this is your first time, your very first time, welcome. My name is Chris CJ Jones, and every Wednesday, we're here, okay? We get together, we diagnose the real reason why execution breaks down under pressure. And this is not theory. Trust me, it's not theory. It's not motivation. This is not something that I read in a book, but from real conversations, real coaching conversations, right? Real discovery calls, real sales calls, like things that I'm pulling together, right? From my own coaching and the patterns that, continue to show up week after week, right? Because like I said, I've been learning some things. I've been pulling some things together. And most people, they don't need another strategy. They don't need one. They need a better diagnosis. And when you diagnose the right problem, not just all the problems, but the right problem, the solution becomes much more obvious. So before we jump in tonight, if you're watching this live, if you're here live right now, let me know where you're watching from. And if you're catching the replay, drop replay gang. You know what I'm saying? Drop it in the comments. And as we're talking tonight, or as you're going through this video, don't just listen to it. Please don't just sit back and just take in the information and be like, man, that sounds cool. Don't just do that. Actually participate with the information. Answer the questions when I ask a question. Drop your biggest takeaway. Challenge yourself while you're sitting in this space. While I got you for 30 minutes or so, because transformation, it doesn't happen just by consuming information. You don't just, it doesn't come by osmosis in one ear, stick there, the stuff that you want. It doesn't happen like that. It happens when you start engaging, when you start, really working with the information. So tonight, let's start with a question. Just one question so far. First question is, what are you protecting? What are you protecting? Now, don't answer that too quickly. Really sit with it. Like, I'm not asking what you say you're protecting. I'm asking, what does your life say that you're protecting? Because every decision you made today, it protected something. I promise you. Every decision, every dollar you spent protected something. Every conversation you avoided protected something. Every opportunity that you passed on protected something. Every excuse, every delay, every yes you gave, every no you gave protected something. And after spending, this past week coaching people, I realized something that it caught me off guard. I'm not going to lie. It caught me off guard. I was like, oof, what was that? And so what I realized was that people don't usually sabotage their futures. They accidentally protect the wrong things. And man, once I noticed that, I was like, ooh, I couldn't unsee it. Like, this is a breakthrough. Look, what can I do with this? But it kept showing up, like, with different clients. It kept showing up in different situations. Like, they have different goals, but it's the same pattern popping up left and right. One here, one there. Like, they weren't making bad decisions. Not at all. They weren't lazy. They weren't stuck because, they lacked the information. They were getting the information from me and from other sources. Like, they were making decisions based on what they were trying to protect. And so that's what we're going to unpack tonight. All right. So I do have a feeling, some of you watching out there, some of you that are watching, I know you're protecting something. Some of you aren't, protecting your peace. You're protecting the actual control that the peace gives. Some of you aren't protecting your purpose. You're protecting certainty. And until we can actually identify what we're actually protecting, we'll keep making the same decisions that make perfect sense in the moment, but they're actually moving us further away from the life that we say that we want. So tonight, that's what I want to do. I want to help you answer one question. What have you really been protecting? Because once you can actually answer that, once you can get that down, your decisions, they start making a lot more sense. And so I like to say that every decision, has a bodyguard. No, not like Kevin Costner. I might have dated myself with that. But either way it goes, every decision has a bodyguard. Like, I really want you to think about it. Think about the last decision that you avoided. Maybe it was a difficult conversation. Maybe it was, man, I'm going to start this business. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to open this bank account. I'm going to open this business bank account. Maybe it was like setting a boundary. Oh, they ain't going to talk to me like that no more. Or they're not going to do X, Y, Z, whatever it is. Now ask yourself, what was I protecting? Yep. Most people answer with behavior, right? I don't have time. I wasn't ready. I'll do it later. That's just the behavior, though. Like, what I'm asking is about the belief underneath the behavior. Like I said earlier, maybe you were protecting certainty or comfort or even your image. Maybe you're protecting, yourself from rejection. Like, every decision has a bodyguard. The problem is sometimes that bodyguard is protecting the wrong thing. So what decisions have you been putting off? And ask yourself, what am I actually protecting? So drop that in the comments. What am I actually protecting? Drop one word. That's it. We don't need an explanation. We don't need any of that. Just drop just the word. I'm protecting this. And so here's where things, got interesting. If every decision is protecting something, then the next question becomes, why? Why am I protecting? Because sometimes what we're protecting isn't valuable, it's just familiar. And that's where fear gets super sneaky. Gets super sneaky. We all know how fear works. Fear never says, "Oh, I'm scared. I'm fearful." Fear is a lot smarter than that. Fear says, "You know what? I'm gonna wait till next month. I need a little bit more information. Like, I got to think about it first. I got to go back to the lab and I got to think." But you're just being responsible, right? You're just being responsible. It's a responsible thing to do. But have you ever noticed that fear doesn't always sound emotional? It sounds super logical. That's what I'm gonna do. Because it only makes sense, right? That's why so many people follow the logic. And I'm not saying at times you can't follow the logic. Sometimes it is smart. But when it's moving in the direction that you want to go, that's when fear pops up. Like, I've coached people who thought they were, protecting their money. They're actually protecting the certainty. If I do this, this won't happen. So therefore I'm not doing it. Like, I coach people who thought they were protecting their peace and they were actually protecting the avoidance. Like, I've coached people also who thought they were protecting their relationship. But again, they're protecting control. And fear always has a mask. It always disguises itself. And if you don't recognize the disguise, you'll spend years calling fear wisdom. Like, I thought I was being wise, but I was really just scared. If that's you, type it in the chat. Put it in the chat. That's me. Self-identify. That's me. That's me. So through this week, I've learned every decision protects something. Fear usually hides behind logic, and what you repeatedly protect eventually shapes your life. And if that's true, what happens when you've been protecting the wrong thing for years? Yeah, kind of hit me in the face too. I was like, oh, whoa, hold on. And so when you really think about it, whatever you protect gets stronger. You know, being in these conversations, everyone has a different background. No one grew up the same, different ages, different careers, different goals. But every single conversation came back to the same question: what deserves protection now? So since we're here, what should I be protecting? Person needed to protect peace. One needed to protect their future. One needed, to protect their focus. And some others, they needed to, protect their identity. Like I said, different stories, same lesson. Whatever you protect gets stronger. Are you protecting excuses? Because if you are, you'll become great at making them. Protecting comfort. So if you're protecting comfort, if you're comfortable in the space that you're in, then growth is going to feel dangerous every time it shows up. You may need to grow, but hey, I'm comfortable. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to put no ripples in the river, or not river, lake. I don't put no ripples in there. You protect your vision, then distractions lose power. Protect your identity, consistency becomes easier. Attention follows protection, and your future follows your attention. Might want to write that one down. Write that one down. All right, so let me pause for a second, just for a second. If tonight feels less like a lesson and more like, you know what, CJ's out here talking. He's describing my life right now. That's usually a sign another YouTube video isn't the next step. More information isn't the next step. Sometimes one conversation can uncover what's been quietly leading your decisions for years. That's why I offer free discovery calls. No pressure, no obligation, just clarity. All right. Now we got that out the way. So where are we at? We're at awareness is powerful. You got to be aware. Got to know what's going on. You got to see it. But awareness without a different decision, that doesn't change your future. Doesn't change it at all. So on this next part, let's make this practical. Okay. So every yes creates a no. Say it with me now. Every yes creates a no. Every yes automatically creates a no. When you say yes to scrolling, the doom scroll. What you're saying no to is creating whatever it is that you want to create or get done. You're saying that's what you're saying no to. When you say yes to comfort, you're saying no to growth. When you say yes to everybody else gets a yes, you're often saying no to your own peace. You're saying no to yourself. So when you look at these different spaces, different areas, different situations, circumstances, before you say yes to anything, you got to ask yourself, what is this decision protecting? And then ask, would the person I'm becoming thank me for this protection? Or would they hate me for this protection? Like that one question will change your decision making. Like that. So you're done watching this video, you go to sleep, you wake up tomorrow before making one important decision. Just take a little time, sit back, take a little time, take a pause, take a deep breath, get some oxygen in your lungs. Before you make that decision, ask yourself, what am I protecting? Then ask, does this protect my future or my comfort? All right. So let's pull this all together. So far, we've learned every decision protects something. Fear disguises itself. Whatever you protect grows stronger, and every yes shapes your future. Right. And so, with that, it brings us to the deepest part of tonight. Okay. The deepest part. So, I like to always say, you gotta protect what God is building. No matter what your belief is, if you don't believe in God, cool. Universe, whatever that entity is, or whatever the case, you still got to protect it. If you think you came up with from yourself, that's cool too. But you got to protect what's being built. Like I believe that it's one of our greatest responsibilities, and that is protecting what God is building inside of us. Right? Protect your peace, protect your standards, protect your marriage, protect your family, protect your integrity, and even your vision. Because if you know, like I know, the enemy doesn't have to always destroy your purpose. Sometimes it just distracts your attention. And if he controls your attention, he eventually influences your decisions. So I would say protect your attention because attention determines direction and direction determines destiny. So let me ask you this: if your future could speak today, future you comes down, if it could speak today, what would it ask you to protect? What's that thing? What should you be protecting? And then what would it ask you to stop protecting? Just a question. Just a question. You don't even have to put that one in the comments. You don't even have to do that. Just really sit with that. But write it down. So if you're realizing you spent years protecting comfort, fear, or certainty instead of your future, hey, let's have a conversation. Hit the link in the description. That's exactly what we work through in coaching, not by giving you more motivation. It's not here for that. Not for motivation, but by helping you identify what deserves your protection and build a plan that aligns your decisions with the life that you're trying to create. All right. So if you're tracking, for all my note takers, if you're tracking, tonight wasn't about fear. It wasn't about your habits. It wasn't about your money. It wasn't even about decision making. It was about leadership. Because every single day, something is leading your life. I don't care what you say. Something is leading your life. Fear is leading it. Comfort, purpose, peace, vision. The only question is who's winning? Who's winning that fight? Who's leading? Because if your future self is leading, you may be onto something. But if not, you got to answer the questions. So I really want you to kind of sit back and imagine waking up a year from now. Okay. Not because life got easier. Life is always lifing. Can't get around it. As long as you draw in breath, life is lifing. But imagine life didn't get easier, but your standards got stronger. Like you stopped protecting comfort and you started protecting your calling. You started protect you stopped protecting your excuses, right? You started protecting your future. Stop protecting who you were and you started protecting who you're becoming. That's the life. That's the life that's waiting on the other side of intentional decisions. And I can't wait to meet you there. I know I'm gonna see you there. I know. But if this message helped you think differently, if this whole, what are we on? 20 minutes now? If it helped you think differently, make sure you subscribe. Everything we do here at Ascend is helping you build the identity, the mindset, and the execution that creates lasting transformation. This isn't motivation. It's not just a spark. This is becoming the kind of person who can consistently execute under pressure. And if you're ready to stop getting the information, consuming content, going through the doom scroll, be like, oh yeah, I like that. That was cool. That sounded good. Awesome. If you're ready for that, if you're ready to stop doing that, and you're ready to start creating change, book your free discovery call. We'll get clear on where you are. It's the first thing we'll do. Where you at right now? We'll identify what's actually been pulling you off course, and together we'll build something practical so you can move forward. There's no pressure, no obligation. All I'm offering is clarity. Because remember, your future isn't determined by what you hope for. You can't be sitting on the couch chilling, doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a better life. It's not going to happen. I promise you that. Like, it's determined by what you consistently protect. So protect your peace, protect your standards, protect your vision, protect the person God is shaping you into, because the life that you're praying for isn't built someday. It's built on one protected decision at a time. All right. So understand, right here in this space, this is where we learn to execute under pressure. And I'll catch you on the next one.